essence, education, calling, understanding, anointing, understanding is what is necessary if you're going to deal with people and to understand how to deal with people. Many people don't understand their essence. They don't understand their aura. They haven't paid attention to patterns. They're not clear on how they affect people. Therefore, they are not moving through life in a way that ensures their innate protection, balance, and acceleration. You need to know about your essence and how it affects other people. What if I told you that people have innately been responding to you in a particular way since you were like 5? The way people innately respond to you is based on your energy. It's based on your essence. Women who are considered intimidating, men who are intimidating, women and men who have had a history in their life of getting humbled by people or meeting people who desire to chip at them, that's been happening to you since you were 5. If you think back to your life, your kindergarten teacher used to try to chip away at you, because that's how people innately respond to your essence. So as you get older, you need to know, how do people respond to me? Since I was a child, how have people been responding to me? The majority of people, not the minority. How have majority of people responded to me? Do people like to play psychological games with me? Have people like to use me? Have people like to pin other people against me? Do I always get kicked out the group? Am I always the one that gets removed from the group chat for no reason? Like, you have to put 2 and 2 together, and based on how people innately respond to you, that is going to help you decipher what boundaries and limits to put in place and what to do and not do to ensure that you have a beautiful life experience. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready to take notes, because this is going to be an awesome video, very informative. Remember, I had a colleague, a very sweet lady years ago that was an independent contractor / colleague. And she told me, she said, "Mel, why am I always attracting crazy clients?" She's like, "I don't understand. It's like I'm always attracting these kind of people." And I told her, it's not that you keep attracting them. It's actually that you keep accepting them. That's actually a big part of it too. There's a duality there. And second, you may have a spirit that's very calming and very grounded. And because those individuals are not calm and they're not grounded and they're a little bit scattered psychologically, they see you as an anchor. Therefore, they're always attracted to you. So what you have to do is you have to put a boundary in place to not allow them to attach themselves to you, because this is an innate response to you. People, when they meet you, especially if they may be psychologically unwell, there's something about you that they want to get near. That means that you have to not allow that to happen. And I'm going to teach you guys an exercise of learning how people respond to you. The majority of people, the percentage, the high grade percentage, how do majority of people respond to you? Do they try to attach themselves to you? Do they try to get in your business? Do they try to control you? Do they try to humble you? Do they try to use you? That's a big one. Use and discard you. Majority of your life experience is how have people responded to you. And based on that, we're going to decide what boundaries to put in place. How do people respond to you? $1 million question of the day. How do people respond to you? Mel, everybody's different. What do you mean? I can't give you a solidified answer on that. Everyone's different. I can't tell you how everybody responds to me because it's always going to be different. Not necessarily. When I'm working with men and women and I'm helping them level up in life and I'm teaching them how to value themselves, protect themselves, increase their value, ensuring that their connections are healthy. In life, you want healthy connections. You don't want these connections that are not healthy and that are not solid, right? So the first thing that I ask people all the time, men and women, I always ask them, well, how do people respond to you? And I tell them to give me a summary of that. And when they tell me, but Mel, I've met so many people I don't know, I said, what happens majority of the time? Not the minority of the time. Majority of the time, since you've been encountering people, what are people's innate responses to you? Innately, like it's like a reflex. And based on what they tell me, I tell them that piece of information that you know about your innate self and how people respond to you innately, that is what you're going to use as a measurement of protection for yourself. I had an associate call me today and say, Mel, I wanted to know your opinion and input on something, but I feel like you're going to say no. I said, okay, what is it? So this associate was explaining to me a particular ideal that they had that a friend of theirs did, a social ideal that a friend of theirs did. And it's an ideal that requires a lot of invasion. And they wanted me to tell them what I thought about them doing it in regards to them. I told them, well, you know me well, because my answer would be no. And this person told me, but why? This other person did it so-and-so. I said, because I have a lot of experience with you. You have had a history of stalkers. How many times have you went down to the courthouse to file a restraining order? It's been well over 5 times. So what does that tell you about yourself? And my associate said, well, what do you mean? I said, think about the question that I just asked you. What does that tell you about you? Because in life, as men and women, we need to start learning ourselves. I know society doesn't push introspection. Introspection is a big pillar for the Levels program. You need to know yourself, because by knowing yourself and gathering data over time of how people have responded to you, you can put certain boundaries in place based on how people respond to your energy. And I told her, okay, if you have went through multiple cycles of people becoming obsessed with you that so badly that you have to get restraining orders on these people, do you think it's wise based on your energy to give someone the proximity that your friend gives them? Because I told this person, I said, you mentioned, but your friend did it. Your friend is not you. Your friend has a different energy than you. Ask your friend how many times she's gotten stalked, or ask your friend how many times.
If you don't resonate or align with my teachings, then my content is not for you. Avoid commenting, subscribing, or interacting. Instead, go to a page where you resonate. If you comment something foul, disrespectful, or like something foul or disrespectful, you will be blocked. I will also block you if you comment any contradictory to my message. I don't post for your agreement, so please think about that before you run and comment, I don't agree. Think about that. It doesn't matter. I post what I am led to post. Your agreement or okay was never needed. I don't need your permission. Let's get into it.
She's had to file a restraining order on a person, and I'm sure your friend is probably going to tell you never. Ask her. I said, do an experiment. Ask your friend how many times in life she's been stalked or she's had to file a restraining order on people. Do it as an experiment. And she called me back and she said, oh, my friend said never. I said, and how many times have you done it? She's like, oh, well over 5 times. And I said, well, that tells you that you have the kind of energy where people become infatuated with you in a very unhealthy way, and people attach themselves to you in a very unhealthy way. And as a result of that, There are certain proximities that other people can give people that you can't. There's your answer. You just cracked the code and you just found a wonderful new boundary to now implement into your life. And this person told me, well, Mel, what made you even come up with that thought process? I said, because many times in life, people are going to usually respond to us in a specific manner that we've seen before. For me, I know my energy, I know my essence. I know how men respond to me and I know how women respond to me. Majority of the time. There are some minorities in there where, they respond in a different manner, but I know how majority of people respond to me upon meeting me. I know how majority of people get when I give them close proximity to me. And because of those experiences that I've had, I know how much to give people and how little to give people, because I know how people innately respond to me. In my past, I can say my biggest issue with people or with men, women in close proximity as far as relations is the destiny swappers. I've had many people throughout my life try and swap destinies with me. I've had people in my family go to dark arts to play in my destiny. I have had certain experiences that prompts me to move in certain ways. For example, when it comes to the friendship thing, I know for me, there's a very low probability that I'll ever be able to have like a super close best friend. I'm not saying never, but based on my energy, I just don't think it's possible. Because from afar, it's fine. With proximity, it's fine. But there's something about me where people will try and transform themselves into me. And when they try to do that, they make me the enemy. It's like they want to psychologically swap essence with me and then take me out right after, right? And because I know that, again, there's certain things that I don't do. There's certain things that I don't allow. There's certain things that I don't allow to take precedence or place because I have to protect myself. And that's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is, how do people respond to you? If you can write a summary on how people respond to you, what would it be? What would be your first 4 points or 5 points? Majority of my time in life, the high percentage of people have responded to me as A, B, C, D, and E. And based on what you conclude, you create boundaries based on those things. So notice how I saved my associate a lot of trouble by having her see things from that angle. You've had a history in your life of people attaching themselves to you and becoming obsessed. You've had to get a restraining order on every ex-guy and ex-friend that you've ever had, majority. Doesn't that tell you that people can't really handle being that close to you? Not all. There's a minority that can. But doesn't that tell you that majority of people, they just cannot let you go? So that is your sign as to you have to have limits with how close you allow things to get when it comes to you. And with you guys, it could be anything. Some of you guys, people's innate response to you is giving you these suggestions, but it's not really suggestions. It's a covert form of control. All the unsolicited advice people give you, first of all, I always tell men and women, unsolicited advice is extremely rude. When you just start giving all of your suggestions to someone that you just met or someone that you know for a while, but they didn't ask you for it, it's very rude. And based on my assessment of human behavior, it's giving covert control, right? You're trying to manipulate and control this person via fake concern and unsolicited pointers, right? Some people, that's just how people respond to you. When people get around you, they just want to control you. It's like, you don't know why. Some people, when people get around you, they want to extract whatever talent you have and use it for themselves while leaving you out of the way without giving you credit. A lot of women and men are like, oh, well, I opened up my business, so I helped this person opened it up. Or I learned how to do hair and I taught her how to do hair. And once she learned how to do hair, instead of coming to work with me at my salon, she went and bought the salon across the street and opened there and took all my clients. And I'm like, okay, how many times in life have people learned something from you and use that thing that they learned to go against you, to be a rival to you? Oh, this has been happening to me since I was in high school. Okay, so what does that tell you moving forward? Because if it's been happening to you since high school and you're in your mid 30s here, you're not learning. That's what that tells me, because you're still doing it, knowing majority of the time what the results will be. So what does that tell you now? This has been happening to you since high school. That tells you that you don't really allow that. You're very careful of why someone is trying to get close to you and learn something from you. What place is it coming from? A place of sincerity or a place of envy? If that has been your pattern and majority of your experiences, then maybe that's telling you that you should work solo all the time and just stay out of things, right? And let people find their way, right? So you have to beware of people's innate response to you, because that's going to help you a lot in the long run with protection and boundaries. So use that as a journal entry tonight, you guys. Just write it down on a paper. Think about it as you're about to fall asleep. Since I was 5, how do people innately respond to me? And based on that, start creating boundaries. You have to be willing to weaponize your masculinity as a woman. Masculinity is not bad. Masculine energy is not bad. I don't know why people keep saying that. Masculine energy is the ability to reach a goal. Masculinity is what? Goal-oriented, structurally, orderly, being able to show up on time, precision, logic, rationality. Nothing about that is bad. So with the October spooky season coming around and holiday season, make sure you guys are okay being the villain. Yes, villainhood is a real thing, and that's what this class is going to talk about. We are going to speak on the characteristic traits and approaches you have to take when you are no longer living your life to be accepted and validated by people while accepting their bad behavior. Sometimes being the protector in your book looks like being a villain in another person's book. It's all a psychological mind game. If you don't choose yourself, if you don't choose your happiness, if you are not unapologetically you and winning without feeling apologetic about it, guess what? People are going to view you as a villain. But if you already walk in villainhood, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this is going to be a good class, especially in conjunction with weaponizing your masculinity. You have to get comfortable with being viewed as a villain. You need a strong mental mind to accept people villainizing you because you are being and doing your best.